I was just talking to this preacher. He's a very good man, very honorable, and he's been doing this for the better part of 30 years with great success, just in a little bit different way. And maybe we can talk about that sometime in the future. But he said, you know, I've been to court many times. His dad was one of the most famous lawyers in Texas history and was a great teacher of, oddly enough, natural rights to the point where they took it away from him. But he said, you know, you keep approaching this like it's a fight. And it is on one level, he said, but something I never hear you say is, you know, you wish to go in there like a servant to these people. Like, have you ever considered going as a servant? You know, the king of creation came down as a servant. I don't believe you're going to have success till you learn how to be a servant. And at the time, my first reaction was, what the hell are you talking about? Do you know these people? And then after a couple of days, it was like, man, this man's a wise man. I know he is. And I just kept mulling it over. And I met JC through a mutual circumstance. And that's a story in of itself one of these days. But when I was sitting there after that mistake I made in the marshal's office, thinking over my mistake, I gave the fight up. I just took that and I just took it off. I was not going to do it anymore. And if I did something wrong, I was completely prepared to accept that judgment. When I went back into that courtroom, I stated my position on a document, spoke to the man in black about it, and I went back with a humble heart, no fear. I asked the right questions. But I made sure to tell them, hey, there's no controversy, guys. I'm here to settle any matter of controversy and anyone who's listened to Gus's case. There's no better online representation of how to handle yourself than that video. It was wonderful.
In fact, just so that everybody who is here now and listens to this recording later, Gus's video is the first thing that we hand out, and we make people watch it religiously for like a week if they got to go into a criminal action.
Yeah, we don't even, that's the only thing we tell them. You watch this for a week, 2-3 times a day at least, then we'll talk this weekend. Don't even call us, man. But I just wonder if anybody who calls and listens to this call, if you've ever considered coming at it with a servant's heart. Like, if you did something wrong, make it right. But if you didn't, don't. Like, it's not that complicated. You know, like JC said earlier, common law is a defense, right? Like, who's the man or woman that's going to come forward? You know, Karl has that right. Who's the man or woman that's going to come forward and say I did something wrong? You know, if they're here, man, you bring them in here. I got to make this right now. Right now. I don't want to wait. I don't wish to wait. Let's get it over. Like, how do you argue with somebody like that? Like, think about it from their perspective. If you had somebody sitting across the table from you, and they're sitting there saying there's no controversy, tell me what I did wrong, I wish to make it right now, just bring the man or woman in here that I did wrong, and I'm ready to go. Man, I mean, how do you get that individual person, man, woman, in front of a jury and say, hey, you know, Al mentioned this similar earlier, like, I've asked him 517 times, where's the bill? I wish to settle. I mean, what more can I do? What do you want me to do? You guys brought me in here saying there's a controversy. I'm telling you there isn't one. Let's settle now. And you guys keep trying to pound me into sand? For what? Well, because there is nobody saying you're doing wrong. Oh, then why are we here, guys? Come on. What are we doing here? You know, it's not F you and you're stupid and you spawn of Satan and you guys are evil and you have a Kabbalah and you're the Illuminati and it's chemtrails. It's like, okay, some of those things are true. Heck, most of them may be true. But they ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm here to settle any matter of controversy. Who's a man or woman that says I did wrong? Bring them in here right now. Give me the bill. Pre-tender the bill, and I offer to settle now. I'm just here to help you all out. It's really hard to be angry with someone like that. It's really hard for them. I mean, it kind of takes some of their fame, wouldn't you think? I would think so. I know it would me if I was doing something wrong in my heart and I knew I was trying to get over on somebody and they came in there with a tender, gentle spirit like that. I'd have a really hard time going for it. And I'm not saying there ain't guys that wouldn't do it. There's some guys that cut your neck off just because you have blonde hair. But I think a majority of people have kids and families, and they've at least heard of the Creator at some point, and at least on some level they're afraid when they die, that they're going to have to answer to something. I'd like to think that there's still some semblance of law and love and truth left in that system, that all of those people realize that their granddaughters, grandsons, uncles, husbands, cousin Judy that lives in Ohio, that these people aren't in the vicinity of, let's say you're a magistrate, you're talking to a magistrate. What happens when they're not a magistrate anymore?
Exactly.
I think the system, and I don't remember the magistrates getting the memo from the United Nations on the fluoridated water that's giving them all cancer and thyroid issues. If these people think that they're on the inside, you better think again. You're not on the inside of anything.
Out-group mentality. And even on the in-group, there's still an in-group and out-group mentality.
Hell, there's layers like a onion. And when it comes right down to it, there's a bunch of people at the top who could care less about anybody, and they're using everybody against everybody. And just like the book says, a house divided cannot stand. It's not just with this, whatever you want to call, movement of common law, if that's what you wish to call it, not just there, but with those people that think they're against us. Man, that's a house divided. The last time I checked, they're not another species from another planet. They're man and woman just like we are. They drink the same water, breathe the same air, hang around on the same plane, same dimension. Like the chains that they put on us, putting them right on themselves. Right on their kids, right on their uncles, right on their grandma. So, what happens when they start marching people into camps? Because they talk like we're talking right now. Sooner or later, they're coming for y'all too. Because that's the nature of darkness, is to consume everything. Darkness is evil. Evil wants to kill even itself because it can't be happy. It's not going to stop until it just consumes everything. But that's where good comes in, Good, goodly man working together. I don't give a shit how dark it is, man. The smallest pinprick light conquers darkness. The smallest light, man. There's no way darkness can win because, quite frankly, it doesn't exist. It's merely the absence of light. So all we have to do is be light. We conquer darkness. It's that simple.
Okay, so one of the things that I'd like to get back to about what Sean was talking about is that a lot of this battle is winning the hearts and minds of the people. That's what we're trying to do. And it's not just that we're trying to win the hearts and minds of you guys. We're just coming out right now. We haven't tried to do that yet. But every time we go in there, that's what we try and do to the other side, because the other side would have no power if nobody gave it to them. If everybody knew right from wrong, the other side would do the right thing. I never go in there thinking about being vengeful or what I can do to them. The only intent, the only motive I have to go in there and do something is with the intent that they start following the law. That's it. That's all I wish for, because if they follow the law, it's really, really easy because the law is simple.